How's it going, everybody? This is Pristine Paper back again for another video, and today I'm going to do a pretty ambitious video. I'm going to be ranking my top 50 Celtics of all time. There's so many players to go through, so many eras, so many different iterations of the team, and I had to do a ton of research to do this video. So I hope you guys really enjoy, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Al was drafted by the Celtics in the 2004 NBA draft with the 15th overall pick. His first two seasons were promising, but he broke out in 2006. Jefferson averaged 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game in 69 games on a great efficiency as well. After that transformative season, he became the crown jewel of the Celtics offer to Minnesota for Kevin Garnett. While KG was winning a Defensive Player of the Year award and raising Banner 17 in 2007-2008, Jefferson averaged 21 points and 11 rebounds for the Timberwolves. His main inclusion on this list is for being the integral piece in acquiring Kevin Garnett and thus winning the 2008 NBA championship. He spent 3 years with the team, and his overall statistics are 2,046 points, 1,367 rebounds, and 142 assists. All of those rank above the 50th rank in the franchise totals. His personal achievements: he made NBA All-Rookie second team in 2005. For championships, he has none. And his X factor, as I already mentioned, was being integral in the Kevin Garnett trade. Barros was taken with the 16th overall pick in the 1989 draft by the Supersonics. After his All-Star selection, he made his way to Boston in 1995, his hometown. The Celtics were the favorite to land the #1 overall pick and future Hall of Famer Tim Duncan. Unfortunately, this didn't happen, and the team continued to flounder. But throughout that time, Dana remained a steady influence for the Celtics for 5 seasons, most of that time as a role player alongside David Wesley and Dee Brown, mentoring some of the younger players they had drafted like Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce. Overall, he had 5 years with the team. In statistics, he had 3,109 points, which ranks 48th all-time in franchise history. He has 597 rebounds, which is above 50, and he has 1,014 assists, which is 41st in franchise history. Personal achievements, he doesn't have any, unfortunately, and in championships, he doesn't have any either. For X Factor, I have his mentoring towards Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce, which is instrumental in helping them become all-star caliber players. Radja was selected in the second round by the Celtics at the 40th overall pick in 1989. He did not make his way to Boston until 1993, playing in the EuroLeague, but one thing about Dino was that he could play. A great shooter, rebounder, defender, and decent athleticism. A comparison to Radja in his prime would have been poor man's Kevin McHale with more athleticism. Dino played on some interesting 90s teams that saw little success aside from a playoff appearance in 1995. He returned to Europe in 1997, where he picked right up where he left off. Years with the team, he had 4 years. Statistics, he has 3,733 points, which ranks 41st in franchise history. He has 1,883 rebounds, which is 37th in franchise history. And he has 356 assists, which is above the 50th mark. For personal achievements, he has an NBA All-Rookie second team selection in 1994. And he's actually a Hall of Famer selected in 2018. And this is mostly because of his EuroLeague play and international career as well. As the Hall of Fame looks at the overall basketball resume. Championships, he has none. And for his X Factor, I have his EuroLeague play, which helped him transition into the NBA and for his 4 years with the Celtics. Fox was selected by the Celtics in the 1991 draft with the 24th overall pick. He played in Boston for 6 seasons. He joined the C's after leaving the North Carolina Tar Heels as the basketball team's all-time steals leader and games played leader. He was the first rookie to start on opening night in Boston since Bird in 1979. He averaged 10.7 points and 1.2 steals in a primarily sixth-man role throughout his time on the C's. In Fox's 6th season, Rick Pitino joined the organization as president and coach of the Celtics. At that point, as a captain, Fox had opted out of his contract because he believed that he was far more valued than what he was being paid for. So as I mentioned, he had 6 years with the team, and overall for his statistics, he had 4,759 points, which is 36th all-time in franchise leading. He had 1,733 rebounds, which is 42nd all-time in the franchise history, and he has 1,250 assists, which is 30th all-time in franchise history. For personal achievements, he made the All-NBA Rookie Second Team in 1992. Championships, he has none, but his X factor is definitely his steals and defense. That was his primary role on the Celtics. As I mentioned before, was a sixth man role as he averaged 10.7 points and 1.2 steals. Kyrie was drafted with the first overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft by the Cleveland Cavaliers. A supremely talented point guard with mesmerizing ball handling skills, Kyrie Irving brought his unique brand of wizardry to the Celtics during his brief but memorable tenure after a 2017 trade. With his incredible ability to create shots off the dribble and deliver in clutch moments, Irving often dazzled at the TD Garden. Though his time in Boston was marked by ups and downs, Irving's undeniable talent and jaw-dropping highlights earned him a place in the team's storied annals, despite what some fans might say. Years with the team, he only had 2 years. Statistics-wise, he had 3,062 points, which ranks 49th all-time in franchise history. He had 562 rebounds, which is above the 50th mark. And he had 770 assists, which ranks 49th all-time in franchise history. Personal achievements, he had a 2-time NBA All-Star. Championships, he had none. And for his X factor, I have his handles and his ball movement, because he truly was dazzling us up and down the court with his ball handling, movement, and flashy passes. Perkins was drafted 27th overall in the 2003 draft by the Grizzlies, but was immediately traded on draft night to the Boston Celtics. A mainstay in the paint for the Celtics during their championship runs in the late 2000s, Kendrick Perkins brought a physical, intimidating presence to the team's front court. With his imposing stature and willingness to mix it up under the basket, Perkins provided critical muscle and determination for the Celtics. Though his offensive game may not have turned heads, Perkins' unwavering commitment to defense and rebounding played a crucial role in the team's success. Overall, he had 8 years with the team. Statistics-wise, he had 4,214 points, which is 40th all-time in franchise history. Rebounds, he has 4,532, which is 12th all-time in Celtics franchise history. And for assists, he has 457 assists, which is above the 50 mark. Personal achievements, he doesn't have any, unfortunately, but championships, he was an NBA champion in 2008. For his X factor, I have his physicality, because he truly was a physical, dominating force coming off the bench and for those teams in the late 2000s, and he was integral in the NBA championship that the Celtics won in 2008. Bradley was drafted by the Celtics in the 2010 NBA draft with the 19th overall pick. He was viewed as a relentless on-ball defender and proficient shooter. Over the years, Avery Bradley was an essential part of several competitive Celtics teams during the 2010s. With his tireless motor and commitment to the team's defensive identity, Bradley made life difficult for opposing guards night in and night out. Despite his unassuming demeanor off the court, Bradley's intensity and dedication to his craft earned him respect and admiration from both fans and teammates alike. Years with the team, he had 7 years with the Boston Celtics. Statistics-wise, he had 5,008 points, which ranks 33rd all-time in franchise history. He has 1,264 rebounds and 703 assists, both of which rank above the 50 mark in terms of franchise. Personal achievements, he was a 2-time NBA All-Defensive team member. Championships, he had none, and for his X factor, I have his defense and reliable shooting. Allen was selected by the Celtics in the 2004 draft with the 25th overall pick. A gritty, determined defender, Tony Allen played an integral role in the Celtics' 2008 NBA championship run. With an uncanny ability to lock down opposing scorers, Allen's defensive prowess and relentless hustle set the tone for a team that prided itself on smothering opponents. His hard-nosed approach and commitment to shutting down the opposition earned him a special place here in the hearts of Celtics fans. After the 2010 season, Allen signed with the Memphis Grizzlies, where he would continue his elite defensive prowess, known by many as the toughest defender Kobe Bryant ever faced. So he had 6 years with the Boston Celtics. Statistics-wise, he ranked above the 50th mark in all categories, but he had 2,423 points, 873 rebounds, and 439 assists. Personal achievements, he actually had none with the Boston Celtics. Championship-wise, though, he was an NBA champion in 2008, and his X factor, obviously, is his defense. As mentioned before, it was integral in the 2008 Celtics championship run. Lewis was taken with the 22nd overall pick in the 1987 draft by the Celtics. A gifted scorer and tenacious defender, Reggie Lewis emerged as one of the most promising young talents in the league during his tragically brief career. With his smooth offensive game and steely determination, Lewis showed flashes of greatness that suggested he would become an integral part of the Celtics' future. Though he played only a few seasons, Reggie's incredible potential and heartwarming story have left an indelible mark on the franchise. Unfortunately, after his All-Star selection, Lewis passed away after collapsing during an off-season practice. He suffered from sudden cardiac death at age 27. Later, his death was attributed to hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a structural heart defect, the same genetic condition that Bronny James experienced. For his years with the team, he had 6. Statistics-wise, he ranks 20th all-time in franchise points with 7,902. He ranks 36th all-time in rebounds with 1,938, and 34th in assists with 1,153. Personal achievements, he was an NBA All-Star in 1992, and his number is retired by the Celtics, number 35. Championships, he had none, unfortunately, but the X factor was he was the next generation after the Big Three. So he was the one leading the Celtics. Carr was taken in the 1973 draft in the 5th round with the 76th pick. He did not make his way to the team until the 1979 season. Carr's time with the Celtics was transitional. His first year was Larry Bird's first year, and ML was still a rotational player averaging in the double figures in scoring. By his last 2 seasons, he was the team's emotional leader, the 11th or 12th man, but he embraced his role and perfected it. He had a sit-down before the 1984 season with Red Auerbach and Jane Volk, who had discussed his role. They explained what they wanted, where some guys would sulk or demand a trade. ML played it to the best of his ability. Additionally, Carr became the GM of the Celtics in 1994, but later took over as a coach for the 95-96, 96-97 seasons. After the 97 season, Carr became the Celtics Director of Corporate Development. As you can see, a player with his overall attitude is someone the Celtics would want to keep around well after their playing days. So, years with the team. He had 5 years as a player, 2 years as a coach, 7 years in the front office, so that combines to 14 years total with the franchise. Statistics-wise, however, he ranks 50th or above all time in all 3 categories, but he has 2,285 points, 818 rebounds, and 484 assists. Personal achievements, he was on the NBA All-Defensive Second Team and NBA Steals Leader in 1979. Championships, he's a 2-time NBA champion with the Celtics. And X Factor, I have his leadership and attitude. White was drafted by the Spurs in 2017, but traded to the Celtics in 2022. Perfect reads, defensive effort, and quick decisions in playing with pace are what you get with Derrick White. He does so thoroughly, we almost start to take it for granted. Derrick White makes the playing the right way such a fundamental part of his game that it looks like routine, but it's not. White wills the team forward figuratively and at times literally, like with this game winner in the Game 6 of the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals. Derrick White leads by example. Heck, you might not even call him a role model. The fans embrace D. White, and he embraces us back. Years of the team, he's currently on the team, but he has spent 4 years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he ranks 47th all-time in points with 3,111 points, 883 rebounds, he ranks above the 50 mark, and 971 assists, he ranks 44th all-time in franchise history. Personal achievements, he's a 2-time all-defensive second-team member, and championships, he was an NBA champion in 2024. His X factor, I have his defense and can do it all mentality, as Derrick White is all over the floor at all times, whether it's offense or defense. After an illustrious college career, Charlie was drafted by both the Celtics in the 4th round of the 1970 draft and the Virginia Squires of the ABA. He began his career in the ABA and put up mind-boggling numbers, averaging over 30 points per game for the Squires in 2 seasons. He won Rookie of the Year and made 2 All-Star teams in the ABA. However, Charlie yearned for the NBA stage and left for the Phoenix Suns prior to the 1973 season. Charlie would be traded back to the Celtics prior to the 1975 season for Paul Westphal and 2 draft picks. He would fit in seamlessly with Boston, starting and playing all 82 games as the backcourt partner to JoJo White. The Celtics would ironically meet Westphal and the Suns in the 1976 finals, where the Celtics would prevail and would win the series in 6 games. The Game 6 clincher in Phoenix, Scott put up some gaudy numbers. 25 points, 11 rebounds, 5 steals, and 3 assists. So years with the team, he only had 3, And in terms of statistics, he ranked above the 50 mark in all categories, but he had 2,728 points, 650 rebounds, and 680 assists. Personal achievements, he was an All-Star in 1975, and he's a Hall of Famer elected in 2018. Championships, he was an NBA champion in 1976. An X Factor, I have clutch playoff performance in Game 6, and just overall clutch ability. Siegfried was taken with the 3rd overall pick in the 1961 draft by the Cincinnati Royals. Known for solid shooting, mistake-free ball handling, and sticky defense, Siegfried played for the Celtics from 1963 to 1970, a period that encompassed the end of a Celtic dynasty. Siegfried played on 5 championship teams, averaging around 14 points per game. Often overshadowed by his teammates, who included some of the most illustrious names in basketball history, Siegfried was nonetheless a key element in the relentless and indomitable Celtic machine. Sometimes starting, sometimes coming off the bench, he averaged in double figures for 5 consecutive seasons and led the NBA in free throw percentage twice. Years with the team, he had 7 years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he had 5,420 points, which ranks 31st all-time in franchise history. He had 1,318 rebounds, which is above the 50 mark, but he had 1,532 assists, which is 23rd all-time. Personal achievements, he had none with the Celtics, but championships-wise, he is a 5-time NBA champion. X Factor, I have his versatility in free throw shooting. As I mentioned, he led the league twice in free throw percentage. Howell was the 2nd overall pick in the 1959 draft by the Pistons. He was traded from the Pistons in 1964 to the Baltimore Bullets, and then eventually made his way to the Celtics in 1966. Howell blended into an already extremely talented roster quite well, averaging 20 points and 8 rebounds for the 16-21 team. However, they did not win the championship until 1968, and again in 1969. Howell was drafted in an expansion draft in 1970, ending his career in Boston. However, he undoubtedly was an integral piece in bringing home 2 championship titles for the franchise. Years with the team, he had 4 years. In terms of statistics, he had 5,812 points, which is 27th all-time in franchise history, 2,717 points or rebounds, which is 25th all-time, and 493 assists, which is above the 50 mark. Personal achievements, he was a 2-time NBA All-Star, and he's a Hall of Famer elected in 1997. Championships, he's a 2-time NBA champion with the Celtics. And X Factor, I have his scoring and rebounding for those 4 years with the team. Ford was drafted in the 2nd round by the Pistons in 1972 with the 17th pick. A steady, reliable guard during his playing days with the Celtics, Chris Ford provided valuable contributions on both ends of the court. Known for his hard-nosed defense and unselfish play, Ford played a key role in helping the Celtics capture a championship in 1981. Although he may not have been a household name, Ford's rugged style of play and commitment to winning endeared him to fans and proved essential to the team's success. Additionally, Ford served as an assistant coach from 1983 to 1990, winning 2 championships with the team. In 1990, he was promoted to head coach, which was his role for 5 seasons with an overall record of 222 and 188, and made the playoffs in 4 of his 5 seasons. He also most notably is known for making the NBA's first 3-point shot. So, years with the team. He has 17 years combined, with 4 as a player and 13 as a coach or assistant coach. Statistics, he's 45th all-time in franchise points with 3,194 points, 708 rebounds, that's above the 50 mark, and 1,021 assists, which is 40th all-time in franchise. Personal achievements, he's an NBA All-Star Game head coach in 1991. Championships, he's an NBA champion in 1981 as a player, and then 2-time NBA champion as a coach. His X Factor I have is his shooting and his steals, as well as his coaching ability. Brown was taken with the 19th overall pick in the 1990 draft by the Celtics. He was scouted for his high-flying moves and electric athleticism. Dee Brown quickly became a fan favorite in Boston thanks to his crowd-pleasing dunks and contagious energy. Known for his iconic no-look slam dunk during the 1991 Slam Dunk Contest, Brown's time with the Celtics was marked by several highlight reel plays. His enthusiasm and flair for the drama made him an exciting part of several competitive Celtics teams during the 1990s. He was traded to the Raptors in 1998 along with Chauncey Billups. So his years with the team, he had 7.5 years with the Celtics. He's 30th all-time in franchise points with 5,512 points. He's above the 50 mark in terms of rebounds with 1,302 rebounds, but he's 18th all-time in assists with 1,883 assists. Personal achievements, he was the NBA Slam Dunk Contest champion, as I mentioned before, in 1991. He has no championships with the Celtics, unfortunately, but his X factor is his athleticism and how it brought on several highlight reel plays and really endeared him to the fans during a tough time for the Celtics in the 1990s. Walker was taken with the 6th overall pick in the famous 1996 draft by the Boston Celtics. A versatile forward with a dynamic scoring touch, Antoine Walker played an integral role in the Celtics' resurgence during the late 1990s and early 2000s. With his penchant for hitting shots from beyond the arc and ability to create mismatches on the court, Walker provided Boston with a potent offensive weapon during his tenure. Though he never captured a title with the team, Walker's impact on the franchise is remembered fondly by fans and teammates alike. Walker was traded in 2003 to the Dallas Mavericks, ending his tenure with the team. So overall, he had 7 years with the team, and he's 14th all-time in franchise points with 11,386. He's 10th all-time in rebounds with 4,782. And he's 14th all-time in assists with 2,266. Personal achievements with the team, he's a 3-time NBA All-Star. He has no championships with the Celtics. And his X factor, I have his duo years with Paul Pierce and how they played off of each other and really made for some fun games and fun seasons. Chaney was taken with the 12th overall pick in the 1968 draft by the Celtics. One of the most interesting facts about Chaney is he's the only man to play with both Bill Russell and Larry Bird. Long before you may have known him as an NBA head coach, he was actually a pretty good basketball player for the Celtics. Chaney was a champion in his rookie year. Known as a lockdown defender and a quiet guy off the floor, he gave more directions on the floor. If you follow the Celtics in the 1970s, you definitely remember the Duck Don Chaney, most notable for winning 2 championships as a player for the Boston Celtics. He left the team in 1975 but returned in 1977 until his retirement in 1980. So overall, he has 10 combined years with the Celtics. He's 29th all-time in franchise points with 5,689, 27th all-time in rebounds with 2,572, and 29th in terms of assists with 1,268. Personal achievements, he's a 5-time NBA All-Defensive second-teamer. Championships, he's a 2-time NBA champion, and his X factor, was a lockdown defender, obviously, with his 5-time NBA All-Defensive second-team selections. Thomas was taken with the 60th overall pick, the last pick, in the 2011 draft by the Kings. With his diminutive stature and overall likable personality, Isaiah Thomas captivated the hearts of Celtics fans with his electrifying scoring ability and relentless determination. A fearless competitor, Thomas regularly took on and bested larger defenders, showcasing his remarkable skills in clutch situations. Having an MVP campaign in 2016-17, IT was traded the following season to the Cavaliers for Kyrie Irving. During his brief but unforgettable tenure with the team, Thomas embodied the spirit of Celtics basketball, leaving a lasting impact on the storied franchise. So his years with the team, he had 2.5 years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 38th all-time in franchise points with 4,422. He's above the 50 mark in terms of rebounds with 492. And he's 38th all-time in terms of franchise assists as well with 1,070. Personal achievements, he was a 2-time NBA All-Star with the Celtics, and he made All-NBA second team in 2017. Championships, none, unfortunately. And his X factor, I would say, is his height and scoring ability. He definitely used his height to his advantage, and the Celtics fans were definitely endeared to him because of that. And they definitely liked the underdog mentality that Isaiah Thomas had, somewhat as if the Boston Celtics fans also take on that mentality. Loscutoff was drafted with the 3rd overall pick in the 1955 NBA draft by the Boston Celtics. Loscutoff was the only Celtics player to have his name, and not uniform number, retired for his leadership and all-around excellent play. A banner with his nickname, Losky, was hoisted to the rafters of the Boston Garden in 1973. Also known as Jungle Jim, Loscutoff was the team's first-round draft pick in 1955 out of Oregon, where he still holds a single-game record for rebounds with 32. A 6'5" forward, he averaged 6.2 points and 5.6 rebounds in his career and was known for his aggressive play. So overall, he had 10 years with the team. Statistics-wise, he's 46th all-time in franchise points with 3,156 points. He's 23rd all-time in rebounds with 2,848, and he's above the 50. He is 50th all-time in assists with 353. Personal achievements, he has his nickname honored by the Celtics. Championships, he's a 7-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have is his defense and attitude. As you can see, he also was an excellent rebounder, as he's 23rd all-time. Horford was drafted with the 3rd overall pick in the 2007 draft by the Atlanta Hawks. Spending 9 years in Atlanta, Al came to Boston in 2016 free agency, where he set the foundation for the franchise's future. A versatile big man with a strong all-around game, Al Horford provided stability and veteran leadership during his time with the Celtics. His ability to stretch the floor and score inside and protect the rim made him a significant factor on both ends of the court. Additionally, Horford left the team in summer 2019 to sign with the Philadelphia 76ers. It was a short-lived tenure as he was traded to the OKC Thunder in December 2020. The following offseason, Horford would be traded back to the Celtics in exchange for Kemba Walker. Since he has returned, Al has picked up right where he left off with the Celtics, expanding his game beyond the arc and finally winning a championship with the team in 2024. Horford's contributions to the team's sustained success cannot be overlooked. Years with the team, he has 7 combined years, obviously with his 2 stints and counting. Statistics-wise, he's 34th all-time in franchise points with 4,973, 22nd all-time in rebounds with 2,975, and 22nd all-time in assists with 1,622 assists. Personal achievements-wise, he's a 2-time NBA All-Star with the Celtics, and he was voted to NBA All-Defensive Second Team in 2018. Championships-wise, as I mentioned, he's an NBA champion in 2024, and his X factor I have is his 3-point game, leadership, and his longevity for the team. Walton was drafted with the 1st overall pick in the 1974 draft by the Trailblazers. He came to the Celtics in the summer of 1985 after multiple Celtics told Red Auerbach to sign him as a backup for Parish and Macauley. Though injuries hampered his career, Bill Walton brought his unparalleled basketball IQ and veteran leadership to bear during his brief tenure with the Celtics. Contributing significantly to Boston's 1986 championship run, Walton provided a stabilizing presence in the paint and demonstrated an uncanny ability to make his teammates better. Despite a relatively short Celtics career, Walton's impact on the franchise was significant, and his contributions to a memorable championship run remain etched in the hearts of fans. So, years with the team. He has 2 years with the team, and in terms of statistics, he ranks above 50 in franchise leading in all time for all of his statistics. So, he only has 634 points, 575 rebounds, and 174 assists. Personal achievements, he won NBA Sixth Man of the Year in 1986, and he's a Hall of Famer elected in 1993. Championships, he's an NBA champion in 1986, and his X factor I have is his personality and basketball IQ. Ramsey was drafted with the 5th overall pick in the 1953 draft by the Boston Celtics as one of the NBA's original 6th man. Frank Ramsey epitomized unselfish play and commitment to winning during his time with the Celtics. A tireless worker who excelled in clutch situations, Ramsey provided a much-needed spark off the bench for some of the franchise's earliest championship teams. His willingness to embrace his role and sacrifice for the greater good set a standard that still resonates with the organization today. So, years with the team, he was with the Celtics for 9 years. Statistics-wise, he's 18th all-time in franchise points with 8,378. He's 17th all-time for rebounds with 3,410, and he's 35th all-time for assists with 1,134. Personal achievements, his number 23 is retired by the Celtics, and he's a Hall of Famer elected in 1982. Championships-wise, he's a 7-time NBA champion with the team, and X factor I have is he's the original 6th man, and he was the first scorer off the bench. Ed Macauley was taken in the 1949 BAA draft with a territorial pick by the St. Louis Bombers. After playing 1 season with the Bombers, Macauley was chosen by the Celtics in the 1950 dispersal draft. He played for the Celtics in the NBA from 1950 to 51 season through the 1955 to 56 season. Macauley was named MVP of the first NBA All-Star game. He played in the first 7, and he was named to the NBA's All-NBA first team in 3 consecutive seasons. He was named to the All-NBA second team for the only time in 1953 to 54 season, which was also leading in field goal percentage. Macauley played 7 years for the Boston Celtics, and for statistics, he had 11,234 points, which is 15th all-time. He had 4,324 rebounds, which is 14th all-time in the franchise, and he had 2,079 assists, which is 16th in franchise history. For personal achievements, he's a 6-time NBA All-Star, 4-time All-NBA. His number 22 was retired by the Boston Celtics, and he made the Hall of Fame in 1960. Championships, he has no championships with the Boston Celtics, but his X factor is being the integral piece in bringing Bill Russell to the Boston Celtics. Allen was taken with the 5th overall pick in the draft by the Timberwolves in 1996. However, he was immediately traded to the Bucks. Allen did not make his way to the Boston until 2007 when the Sonics traded him to the Celtics for Delonte West, Wally Szczerbiak, and the 5th overall pick. Shortly after this trade, the Garnett trade would occur, and the new big three of Garnett, Allen, and Pierce was formed overnight. A world-class marksman and one of the greatest shooters to ever grace the hardwood, Ray Allen played a pivotal role in returning the Celtics championship glory in 2008. Known for his picture-perfect shooting stroke and tireless work ethic, Allen became a fan favorite for his ability to drain seemingly impossible shots from beyond the arc. As a vital component of Boston's Big Three era, Allen helped cement his legacy as one of the best the game has ever seen. Jesus Shuttlesworth, aka Ray Allen, is arguably the greatest shooter in NBA history. A 40% three-point shooter throughout his career, Allen consistently hit big shot after big shot with the Celtics. His shooting made Pierce and Garnett's life much easier, and his soft-spoken nature was refreshing in a locker room of strong personalities. Allen's tenure with the Celtics ended in 2012 free agency as he signed with the Miami Heat. So, years with the team, he had 5 years with the team. In terms of points, he's 26th all-time in franchise points with 5,986 points. He's above 50 in terms of rebounds with 1,215. And for assists, he's 43rd all-time with 981. Personal achievements-wise, he's a 4-time NBA All-Star and he made the Hall of Fame in 2018. Championships-wise, he's an NBA champion in 2008. And his X factor I have is his sharp shooting ability. Silas was drafted in the 2nd round with the 10th pick by the St. Louis Hawks in 1964. He made his way to Boston in 1972 in a deal where the Suns landed Charlie Scott. A consummate team player and ferocious rebounder, Silas provided the Celtics with a steady presence on the boards and defense during their successful run in the 1970s. His tireless work ethic and unselfish attitude made him an invaluable component of several championship teams, as Silas helped cement the Celtics' place among the league's elite. Though his contributions often went under the radar, Silas' impact was keenly felt by those who competed alongside him. So, years with the team, he has 4 years with the Celtics. In terms of stats, he's 40th all-time in franchise points with 3,744, 16th all-time in rebounds with 4,004 rebounds, and for assists, he's 46th all-time with 864. Personal achievements-wise, he's a 2-time NBA All-Star with the Celtics, and he's a 5-time NBA All-Defensive Teamer. Championships, he's a 2-time NBA champion with the Celtics, and his X factor I have is his rebounding and his great inside play to free up Dave Callens. Satch was taken with the 8th overall pick in the 1960 draft by the Boston Celtics. An integral part of the Celtics dynasty during the 1960s, Satch Sanders was known for his tenacious defense and steady offensive contributions. As a versatile forward, Sanders often took on the task of defending the opposing team's best scorers, helping to secure multiple championships for the franchise. His unselfish play and commitment to the team's success made him an invaluable member of one of the greatest dynasties in sports history. Additionally, in 1978, Satch became the head coach of the Celtics, taking over for former teammate Tommy Heinsohn. Satch returned the following season, but after a 2-12 start, he was replaced by Dave Callens in the player-coach role. So years with the team, he had 13 years as a player and 1 year as a coach, so 14 combined years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 17th all-time in franchise points with 8,766 points. He's 8th all-time in franchise rebounds with 5,798, and he's 39th all-time in terms of assists with 1,026. Personal achievements, he is an NBA All-Defensive Second-Teamer in 1969, and his number 16 is retired by the Celtics, and he's a Hall of Famer elected in 2011. Championships, he's an 8-time NBA champion, and his X factor is he's tied for 3rd most NBA championships all time. Smart was drafted with the 6th overall pick by the Celtics in the 2014 draft. An embodiment of the Celtics' fierce competitive spirit, Marcus Smart quickly established himself as an NBA defensive stalwart through sheer hustle and determination. With his relentless effort and willingness to sacrifice his body for the team, Smart has become a fan favorite and an invaluable piece of the Celtics core. Though his offensive game may not garner headlines, Smart's heart and defensive tenacity embody the essence of what it means to wear the green and white. Winning the NBA Depoy Award in 2022, Smart had a decent campaign in the 2023 playoffs. However, he was sent to the Memphis Grizzlies in a 3-team deal where the Celtics got Kristaps Porzingis in return. Years with the team, he had 9 years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 25th all-time in franchise points with 6,141, 31st all-time in rebounds with 2,058, and he's 11th all-time in terms of assists with 2,700 assists. Personal achievements, as I mentioned, he was the NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 2022. He's a 3-time NBA All-Defensive First-Teamer. Championships, unfortunately, he has no championships with the Celtics. And his X factor I have is his defense, grit, and full embodiment of what it means to be a Celtic. Nelson was drafted in the 3rd round of the 1962 draft by the Chicago Zephyrs, currently the Washington Wizards. He did not make his way to the Celtics until 1965 when he signed with the team in free agency. A vital contributor to several Celtics championship teams during the 1960s and 1970s, Don Nelson provided a stabilizing presence on both ends of the floor. Known for his tenacious defense and timely scoring, Nelson consistently delivered in the most crucial moments. While he would later go on to become one of the most successful coaches in NBA history, Nelson's playing days with the Celtics left an indelible mark on the franchise. Years with the team, he had 11 years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 16th all-time in franchise points with 9,968 points. He's 12th all-time in terms of rebounds with 4,517 rebounds, and he is 27th all-time with assists with 1,354 assists. Personal achievements-wise, his number is 19, is retired by the Celtics, and he's a Hall of Famer elected in 2012. Championships-wise, he's a 5-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have is his defense. Ainge was taken in the 2nd round with the 31st pick by the Celtics in 1981. A fiery competitor with a knack for hitting clutch shots, Danny Ainge left an indelible mark on Celtics history with his gritty play and dedication to winning. A vital component of the Celtics championship teams of the 1980s, Ainge proved time and time again that he was not afraid of the big moment, showcasing a fearless approach to both scoring and scrappy defense. His valuable contributions as a player and later as a successful front office executive have cemented Ainge's place among the pantheon of Celtics greats. Additionally, Ainge was hired as the executive of basketball operations for the Celtics in 2003. He served under that role for 18 years, bringing home a championship to Boston in 2008 by acquiring Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett. Another infamous trade by Ainge was moving Pierce and Garnett to the Nets to set up Boston for the future, acquiring picks that later became future Celtics superstars Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Another blockbuster trade facilitated by Ainge was moving Isaiah Thomas to the Cavaliers for All-NBA guard Kyrie Irving. This move would not be as successful as the previous two, as Kyrie left the team after 2 seasons amid tons of drama. Nonetheless, you cannot think Celtics basketball without thinking of Danny Ainge. So years with the team, he had 9 years as a player and 18 years as the GM, so that's 27 years combined. Statistics-wise, he's 23rd all-time for franchise points with 6,257 points. He's 50th for rebounds with 1,534 rebounds, and for his assists, he's 13th all-time with 2,422. Personal achievements, he was an NBA All-Star in 1988, and he was the NBA Executive of the Year in 2008. Championships, he's a 2-time NBA champion as a player, and he's an NBA champion as an executive in 2008. X Factor, I have his Big 3 trade and his executive work. Archibald was taken in the 2nd round of the 1970 draft by the Cincinnati Royals, currently Sacramento Kings. He made his way to Boston in 1978 as a part of a 7-player trade. Known as tiny for his diminutive stature, Nate Archibald proved that a heart and skill could overshadow any size disadvantage during his time with the Celtics. A dazzling playmaker and crafty scorer, Archibald's quickness and agility made him a nightmare for opposing guards. Though his time with the Celtics was limited, Archibald played a vital role in the franchise's storied history. Archibald helped guide the Celtics to the best record in the NBA for 3 consecutive years. He won his first and only NBA championship with the Celtics in 1980-81, alongside young NBA star Larry Bird. In Game 6 of the 1981 NBA Finals, Archibald recorded 13 points and 12 assists as the Celtics closed out the series against the Houston Rockets. So, years with the team, Archibald was here with the Celtics for 5 years. Statistics-wise, he's 37th all-time for franchise points with 4,550. For rebounds, he's above the 50 mark with 683. And assists, he's 12th all-time with 2,563 assists. Achievements-wise, he's a 3-time NBA All-Star with the team, and he was elected to the All-NBA second team and a Hall of Famer in 1991. Championships-wise, he's a 1981 NBA champ, and his X factor I have is his size and his speed. Maxwell was taken with the 12th overall pick by the Celtics in the 1977 draft. With a relentless motor and silky smooth offensive touch, Cedric Maxwell played a crucial role in securing multiple championships for the Celtics in the 1980s. Affectionately known as Cornbread, Maxwell's consistent scoring and tenacity on boards made him an asset to the team during one of its most dominant eras. Maxwell was traded in 1985 to the Clippers for Bill Walton, a move that would win the Celtics the championship the following season. However, Maxwell's gritty, never-say-die attitude endeared him to fans and teammates alike, cementing him his place in Celtics history. He is now a radio broadcaster for WBZ-FM in Boston, where he has announced the Boston Celtics games with Sean Grande since 2001. So years with the team, he had 8 years as a player and 24 years as a color commentator, so I have 32 years combined. Statistics-wise, he's 19th all-time in franchise points with 8,311 points. He's 15th all-time in rebounds with 4,023 rebounds. And he is 26th all-time in terms of assists with 1,390 assists. Personal achievements, he was the NBA Finals MVP in 1981. And his number 31 is retired by the Celtics. Championships, he's a 2-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have is his finals play in 1981. Sharman was taken in the second round of the 1950 draft by the Washington Capitals. The Capitals disbanded after his rookie season, and he subsequently made his way to the Celtics in 1951. A marksman ahead of his time, Bill Sharman's deadly shooting prowess and steely determination played a pivotal role in the Celtics' earliest championship teams. As a backcourt partner to Bob Cousy, Sharman provided a perfect complement to the dazzling playmaker, consistently punishing opponents by hitting shots from outside. The pairing of Sharman and Cousy combined a pure shooter with a playmaker, formed the first modern backcourt. Tireless work ethic and unwavering commitment to winning made him an integral part of the franchise's early successes. So years with the team, he has 11 years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 12th all-time in franchise points with 12,287 points. He's 26th all-time in terms of rebounds with 2,683 rebounds. And he's 16th all-time in terms of assists with 2,062 assists. Personal achievements-wise, he's an 8-time NBA All-Star Game MVP in 1955, 7-time All-NBA member, and his number is 21, is retired by the Celtics, and he made the Hall of Fame in 1976. Championships-wise, he's a 4-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have is he's excelled as a player, coach, and executive, and he's inducted into the Hall of Fame twice as a coach and a player. Rondo was taken with the 21st overall pick in the 2006 draft by the Suns, but was then traded to Boston on draft night. A true floor general and defensive menace, Rajon Rondo played a pivotal role in the Celtics' resurgence to championship glory in the late 2000s. With his incredible court vision and uncanny ability to make his teammates better, Rondo consistently orchestrated the defense with precision and flair. Arguably one of the best playmakers of his era, Rondo's contributions to the Celtics' successes are etched forever in the hearts of Boston fans. Rondo's tenure ended with the team in 2014-15 as he was traded to the Dallas Mavericks for Jay Crowder and a few picks. So, years with the team, he has 9 years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 28th all-time in franchise points with 5,783 points, 28th all-time in terms of franchise rebounds with 2,484, and he's 4th all-time in franchise assists with 4,474 assists. Personal achievements, he's a 4-time NBA All-Star, and he made All-NBA third team in 2012. He's a 4-time NBA All-Defensive Teamer and 2-time NBA Assists Leader, and an NBA Steals Leader in 2010. Championships, he's an NBA champion in 2008, and his X factor I have is his playmaking and his defense. Jones was drafted in the second round with the 13th overall pick in the 1956 draft by the Celtics. An instrumental figure in the Celtics dynasty of the 1960s, K.C. Jones's tenacious defense and steady playmaking made him the perfect complement to the team's stars. Often tasked with slowing down the opponent's opposition's best guards, Jones displayed an uncanny ability to create havoc on the defensive end, helping to secure multiple championships for the franchise. His relentless drive and commitment to winning truly epitomized the Celtics' ethos. Additionally, Jones was an assistant coach for the team in 1978 and was then promoted to the head coach in 1983. Jones coached the team for 5 seasons and brought home 2 NBA championships. He announced his retirement from coaching in 1987-88 and spent 1 season in the Celtics front office in 1988-89. Jones then re-signed to join the Seattle Supersonics as an assistant coach and basketball consultant for the 1989-90 season. He bounced from the Supersonics to the Pistons, but then back to Boston for the 1996-97 season as an assistant coach. All in all, Jones had spent the majority of his adult life working for the Celtics organization, bringing home 12 total championships throughout the years 1959 to 1986. So, years with the team, he has 8 years with the team as a player, 11 years as an assistant and / head coach, 1 year in the front office, so that's 20 combined years. Statistics-wise, he's a 32nd all-time in terms of franchise points with 5,011 points. He is 29th all-time in terms of franchise rebounds with 2,399 rebounds. And he's 9th all-time in terms of franchise assists with 2,908 assists. Personal achievements, his number 25 is retired by the Celtics. He's a 5-time NBA All-Star Game head coach, top 15 coaches in history, and he's a Hall of Famer in 1989. Championships-wise, he's an 8-time NBA champion as a player and a 4-time NBA champion as an assistant and head coach. X factor, I have his knowledge of the game. Johnson was taken in the 2nd round by the Supersonics in the 1976 NBA draft. DJ did not make his way to the team until 1983 when he signed in free agency. An adept floor general and tenacious defender, Dennis Johnson was an integral part of the legendary Celtics teams of the 1980s. Often tasked with defending the opposing team's best guard, Johnson would routinely lock down his assignments while providing steady playmaking on the offensive end. His unshakable confidence and steadfast commitment to winning endeared him to both teammates and fans alike, earning him a permanent place in the Celtics lore. Additionally, in 1993, Johnson became an assistant coach for the team. He held this position until 1997, when he retired, but subsequently returned to coaching in 2000 for the Clippers. Years with the team, he had 7 years as a player and 5 years as an assistant coach, so that's 12 years combined. Statistics-wise, he's 22nd all-time in franchise points with 6,805, 1,757 rebounds, which is 41st overall. He's 8th overall in terms of assists with 3,486 assists. Personal achievements-wise, he's an NBA All-Star. He's a 5-time All-NBA defensive teamer, and his number 3 is retired by the Celtics. He was elected into the Hall of Fame in 2010. Championships, he's a 2-time NBA champion. His X factor, I have is he's apart from his reputation as a defensive stopper, Johnson was known as a clutch player who made several decisive plays in NBA playoffs, so his playoff play. Heinsohn was taken with a territorial pick in the 1956 draft by the Boston Celtics. Donning multiple hats during his lengthy affiliation with the Celtics, Tom Heinsohn made a lasting impact on the franchise both as a player and a coach. As an imposing forward with a penchant for scoring, Heinsohn formed a potent combo with Bill Russell, leading the Celtics to multiple championships. Transitioning seamlessly to coaching, Heinsohn cemented the Celtics' legacy by guiding the team to even more titles and earning a well-deserved spot among the all-time greats. Tommy coached the team from 1969 to 1978, where he led the team to 2 NBA championships and saw great personal success as well. Additionally, Heinsohn spent a combined 40-plus years doing color commentary for the team. Many fans today know him for his unbiased commentary calling games or funny pronunciation of Giannis Antetokounmpo's name. But Mr. Celtic truly has made his case for one of the best Celtics of all time across the board. So years with the team, I have it as 9 years as a player, 9 years as a coach, and 40 years as a color commentator. So I have 58-plus years combined with the organization. Statistics-wise, he's 13th all-time in franchise points with 12,194. He's 9th all-time in terms of rebounds with 5,749 rebounds. And he's 28th all-time in terms of assists with 1,318 assists. Personal achievements-wise, he's a 6-time NBA All-Star, 4-time All-NBA second team, and he was the NBA Rookie of the Year in 1957. He was the NBA Coach of the Year in 1973, and a 4-time All-Star Game head coach, and his number 15 is retired by the Boston Celtics. Additionally, he was elected into the Hall of Fame in 2015. Championships, he's an 8-time NBA champion as a player and a 2-time NBA champion as a coach, and his X factor is just being Mr. Celtic. Brown was drafted with the third overall pick in 2016 by the Boston Celtics. A gifted athlete and burgeoning star, Jaylen Brown has quickly emerged as one of the most exciting young talents in the league. His high-flying dunks and tenacious defensive prowess have quickly endeared him to the Celtics faithful. Brown's sharp intellect, which is apparent both on and off the court, has also made him one of the most likable players in the league. Additionally, Brown had an amazing 2023-24 season, making All-NBA second team and winning Finals MVP. He signed an extension with the Celtics in the summer of 2023, making him one of the highest-paid players in the NBA. If Jaylen continues on this trajectory with the team, then he might be able to finish top 10 all-time with the franchise. So, years with the team, I have 9 seasons, but he's currently with the team still. Statistics, he's 15th all-time in franchise points with 10,963. He's 20th all-time in terms of franchise rebounds with 3,079. And he's 25th all-time in terms of assists with 1,494. Personal achievements, he's the NBA Finals MVP in 2024. He's a 4-time NBA All-Star and All-NBA second-team member in 2023. Championships, he was an NBA champion in 2024, as I mentioned, and his X factor I have is energy and his maturity. White was taken with the 9th overall pick in the 1969 draft by the Celtics. A smooth operator on the court and a clutch performer in critical situations, JoJo White was a vital cog in Boston's machine during the glory days of the 1970s. A capable scorer with uncanny ability to make shots under pressure, White routinely stepped up when it mattered most. His consistent production and unwavering composure earned him a place among the pantheon of Celtics greats. White went on to become one of professional basketball's first Iron Men, playing in all 82 games for 5 consecutive seasons during the 1970s, and setting a franchise record of 488 consecutive games played. Unfortunately, White suffered an injury in the 1977-78 season, which affected him for the rest of his career. He was traded to the Golden State Warriors in the middle of the 1978-79 season. So, years with the team, I have 10 years. Statistics, he's 10th all-time in franchise points with 13,188 points, 21st all-time in rebounds with 3,071, and 7th all-time in terms of assists with 3,686. Personal achievements, he was the NBA Finals MVP in 1976, 7-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA second-teamer, and his number 10 is retired by the Celtics. Additionally, he was a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2015. He's a 2-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have was White led the Celtics to the NBA championship and was a starring player in what is often referred to as the greatest game ever played in Game 5 of the 1956 NBA Finals. So I have that as his X factor. Jones was taken with the 8th overall pick in the 1957 NBA draft by the Celtics. Known for his clutch shooting and ability to rise to the occasion in big moments, Sam Jones became synonymous with winning during his time with the Celtics. As part of the NBA's greatest dynasty, Jones played a crucial role in many of the team's championships in the 1960s, continuously delivering when it mattered most. His fearlessness and uncanny knack for hitting game-winning shots cemented his status as a Celtics legend. Jones was one of the only 6 Boston Celtics to have scored 50 points in an NBA game. At the time of his death in 2021, he owned Boston's 6th best single-game scoring output, 51 points in 1965. He also recorded 22 points and 5 rebounds in Game 7 of the 1966 NBA Finals as the Celtics won their 8th straight NBA Finals. He was the franchise's career scoring leader at the time of his retirement in 1969. Jones led Boston in scoring 5 times, and he averaged 20 points or better in 4 consecutive seasons. He scored 2,909 points in 154 playoff games, which is 18.89 points per game. So years with the team, I have 12 years with the team. Statistics-wise, he's 7th all-time in franchise points with 15,411. Rebounds, he's 13th all-time with 4,305. And assists, he's also 15th all-time with 2,209. Achievements-wise, he's a 5-time NBA All-Star, 3-time All-NBA second-teamer, and his number 24 is retired by the Celtics. And he was elected into the Hall of Fame in 1984. Championships-wise, he's a 10-time NBA champion. His X factor I have is most NBA championships aside from Bill Russell. Garnett was taken with the 5th overall pick in the 1995 draft by the Timberwolves. He made his way to Boston in the 2007 trade that sent 5 players and 2 first-round picks to Minnesota. A fiery competitor and consummate professional, Kevin Garnett infused the Celtics with a renewed sense of purpose and pride upon his arrival in 2007. His defensive intensity and relentless work ethic set the tone for the entire team and propelled Boston to a championship glory in just one season. Perhaps more importantly, Garnett's arrival marked the resurgence of the franchise, restoring its place among the NBA's elite and sparking a new generation of Celtics pride. Additionally, he was an integral piece in the trade that sent him and Paul Pierce to the Nets for their draft capital that eventually became Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Even to this day, the initial trade to bring KG to the team is still paying off as the team brought home another title in 2024. So years with the team, I have 6 years. Statistics-wise, he's 24th all-time in terms of franchise points with 6,233 points, 19th all-time in terms of franchise rebounds with 3,301, and he's 37th all-time in terms of franchise assists with 1,078. Personal achievements-wise, he's a 6-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, and he was the NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 2008. 5-time All-Defensive Team, and his number 5 was retired by the Celtics, and he was elected into the Hall of Fame in 2020. Championships-wise, he's an NBA champion in 2008, and his X factor I have is his defense and intensity. Tatum was drafted with the 3rd overall pick in the 2017 NBA Draft by the Celtics. Currently a superstar and cornerstone of the current Celtics roster, Jayson Tatum quickly established himself as one of the league's premier young players with his offensive arsenal and defensive versatility. Adept at creating shots off the dribble and an extraordinary finisher at the rim, Tatum has shown the potential to carry the mantle of the Celtics' storied legacy for years to come. Drawing comparisons to legends like Paul Pierce, Tatum is already well on his own to surpassing them with his own accolades. Winning a championship in 2024 along with 6 consecutive All-Star Game appearances, Tatum could easily finish as a top 5 Celtic ever if he continues on this trajectory. For perspective, Tatum is 11th overall in franchise points after 7 full seasons. If he plays perhaps another 6 to 7 more highly efficient years, Tatum could end up as the franchise leader in points. At age 26, he signed the richest deal in NBA history, a contract extension worth $314 million. So Tatum is poised to have a long and illustrious career in Boston. So years with the team, he's currently in his 8th season, and he's been here since 2017, as I mentioned before. Statistics-wise, he's 11th all-time in terms of points with 13,036 points. He's 14th all-time in rebounds with 4,065, and he's 17th all-time in terms of assists with 2,052. Personal achievements, he's a 6-time NBA All-Star, NBA All-Star Game MVP in 2023. He's a 4-time All-NBA member. Championships, he's an NBA champion in 2024. And his X factor I have is his versatility in shooting. Parish was drafted with the 8th overall pick in the 1976 draft by the Golden State Warriors. During the 1980 draft, the Celtics held the 1st overall pick, and Red Auerbach dealt that pick to the Golden State for Parish in the 3rd pick. Funny enough, in that draft, the Warriors took Joe Barry Carroll with the first overall pick, and the Celtics took Kevin McHale, 3rd overall. Thus, the centerpiece of the NBA's most formidable front courts, Robert Parish, brought a quiet but effective dominance to the Celtics for 14 seasons. With his soft shooting touch, powerful rebounding, and shot-blocking prowess, the Chief anchored the front line of several championship teams in the 1980s. His unwavering stoicism and steady presence on the court made him an invaluable contributor in one of the greatest eras of Celtics basketball. Additionally, Parish is the Celtics' all-time leader in block shots with 1,703, offensive rebounds with 3,450, and defensive rebounds with 7,601. In 14 seasons and 1,106 games with the Celtics, Parish averaged a double-double of 16.5 points, 10 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks, shooting 55.2% from the floor. At age 41 in 1994, Parish left the Celtics to join the Charlotte Hornets in free agency. So years with the team, I have 14 years. Statistics-wise, he's 4th all-time in franchise points with 18,245 points, 2nd all-time in terms of franchise rebounds with 11,051, and he has his 20th all-time in franchise assists with 1,679. Personal achievements, he's a 9-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA team member. His number 00 is retired by the Celtics, and he was elected into the NBA Hall of Fame in 2003. Championships, he's a 3-time NBA champion with the Celtics, and his X factor I have is blocks and rebounding, both on offensive and defensive end. Cowens was taken with the 4th overall pick in the 1970 draft by the Celtics. A tenacious competitor and relentless workhorse, Dave Cowens anchored the Celtics during one of the league's most intensely competitive eras in the 1970s. Despite only standing 6'9", Cowens played with the ferocity and grit of a much larger man, battling for rebounds and diving headlong into loose balls. His unwavering hustle and indomitable spirit made him a fan favorite and a vital component of several championship squads. Cowens even went on to win the MVP in 1973, which is one of only 4 Celtics to win the award. Cowens retired in 1980 due to injuries, but reapproached the Celtics in the 1982-83 season to trade him since they owned his rights. The team obliged and sent him to Milwaukee. So years with the team, I have 10 years. Statistics-wise, he's 9th all-time in points with 13,192 points. 3rd all-time in terms of rebounds with 10,170 rebounds. And he's 10th all-time in assists with 2,882. Personal achievements, he was the NBA MVP in 1973. He's an 8-time NBA All-Star, NBA All-Star Game MVP, 3-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defensive Team, NBA Rookie of the Year in 1971, and his number 18 is retired by the Celtics. And he was elected into the Hall of Fame in 1991. Championships, he's a 2-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have is his rebounding and efficiency. Macauley was drafted with the 3rd overall pick in the 1980 draft by the Celtics. An offensive wizard in the low post, Kevin Macauley tormented opponents with his diverse array of moves and an uncanny ability to finish through contact. A vital cog in the Celtics machine during the 1980s, Macauley teamed up with fellow legends Larry Bird and Robert Parish to form one of the most formidable front lines in the NBA history. His devastatingly effective scoring paired with a relentless defensive intensity proved instrumental in securing multiple championships. Macauley started his career coming off the bench. However, when he was promoted to the starting role, he earned the nickname the Torture Chamber. Teammate Danny Ainge once called Macauley the black hole of the low post, joking that when the basketball was passed inside to Macauley, it disappeared because he rarely passed it back out to the perimeter. So years with the team, he has 13 seasons with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 5th all-time in points with 17,335 points. He's 6th all-time in rebounds with 7,122 rebounds, and 21st all-time in assists with 1,670 assists. Personal achievements, he's a 7-time NBA All-Star, All-NBA First-Team member, 6-time NBA All-Defensive Teamer, 2-time NBA Sixth Man of the Year, and his number 32 is retired by the Celtics, and he was elected into the Hall of Fame in 1999. Championships, he's a 3-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have is his footwork and post skills. Pierce was taken with the 10th overall pick in the 1998 draft by the Boston Celtics. Known for his clutch play and scoring prowess, Paul Pierce secured his place in Celtics lore with a storied career spanning 15 seasons and a pivotal role in delivering Boston's 17th championship. An offensive maestro, Pierce could create shots from anywhere on the floor, earning the nickname The Truth with his fearless, unapologetic scoring style. Beyond its impressive offensive skills, Pierce also proved to be a tenacious defender and a natural-born leader, fully embodying the Celtic spirit. The longtime Celtic embraced Boston as his own and carried many inferior Celtics teams on his back to long playoff runs. A great scorer, shooter, defender, and rebounder, Pierce was a jack-of-all-trades forward for the Celtics. To this day, Pierce is still heavily involved in the organization and shows off his Celtics pride whenever he can. Fans are truly endeared to his overall infectious positive attitude and overall love for the city. As mentioned earlier, he was a part of the 2013 trade that sent him, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry over to the Nets for the 2014, 16, and 18 first-round picks, plus a multitude of players. As is KD, Pierce is also responsible for the Celtics' 2024 NBA championship in some way. So as I said before, years with the team, he has 15 years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 2nd all-time in points with 24,021 points. He's 7th all-time in rebounds with 6,651 rebounds. And he's 5th all-time in assists with 4,305 assists. Personal achievements, he's an NBA Finals MVP, 10-time NBA All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, NBA three-point contest champion, and his number 34 is retired by the Celtics and was elected into the NBA Hall of Fame Basketball Hall of Fame in 2021. Championships, he's an NBA champion in 2008. And his X factor I have is his continued involvement with the team and his Celtics pride. Bob Cousy was taken with the 3rd overall pick in the 1950 draft by the Tri-Cities Blackhawks, the current Atlanta Hawks. In a strange twist of events that involved negotiations over Cousy's driving school business, Cousy was moved to the Chicago Stag, who were an NBA team from 1946 to 1950, but subsequently went under. The Celtics would then sign Cousy to a contract. He is nicknamed the Houdini of the Hardwood as he dazzled fans and opponents alike with his jaw-dropping skills, ball-handling abilities, and creative playmaking. Known for his depth behind-the-back passes and flashy dribbling, Cousy epitomized the prototypical floor general, setting up his teammates for success time after time. His innovative style of play influenced generations of point guards forever changing the course of basketball and helping to usher in the new era of the game. Cousy retired in 1963 at the age of 34 when he held a retirement party at the Garden known as the Boston Tea Party. President John F. Kennedy said, "The game bears the indelible stamp of your rare skills and competitive daring, and it will serve as a living reminder of your long and illustrious career so long as it is played." So, as I mentioned, his years with the team, he has 13 years with the Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 6th all-time in franchise points with 16,995 points, 11th all-time in rebounds with 4,781 rebounds, and he is the franchise leader in assists with 6,945 assists. Personal achievements, he's an NBA MVP, 13-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 12-time All-NBA, 8-time NBA assists leader, and his number 14 is retired by the Celtics, and he made the Hall of Fame in 1971. Championships-wise, he's a 6-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have is his local ties to Massachusetts and his Holy Cross alumni status. Havlicek was taken with the 7th overall pick in the 1962 draft by the Boston Celtics. He was also drafted by the Cleveland Pipers of the ABL and the Cleveland Browns of the NFL in 1962. Head coach Red Auerbach went on to call him the guts of the team. Nicknamed Hondo, a nickname inspired by the 1953 movie of the same name starring John Wayne, Havlicek revolutionized the sixth-man role in the NBA, coming off the bench for the Celtics during his early years. A symbol of relentless hustle and unselfish play, John Havlicek left an indelible mark on the Celtics' history with his iconic steal and consistent production across 16 seasons. Known for his unmatched stamina and relentless motor, Hondo never took a play off, embodying the true spirit of Celtics basketball. His ability to contribute on both ends of the floor, whether it was unleashing an offensive barrage or shutting down the opposition's best scorer, cemented Havlicek's status as a Celtics legend. He retired at age 38 after the 1977-78 season, but a quote from the Sporting News stated, "The consensus is that Havlicek is still better than 80% of the players in the NBA." So, years with the team. I have 16 years. Statistics, he's first all-time in franchise points with 26,395 points. 5th all-time in rebounds with 8,007 rebounds, and he's 2nd all-time in franchise assists with 6,114. Personal achievements, he's an NBA Finals MVP, 13-time NBA All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 8-time All-Defensive Team, and he numbered 17 is retired by the Celtics, and he was elected into the Hall of Fame in 1984. Championships-wise, he's an 8-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have is his Hondo saves the ball, all-time leading franchise scorer. Bird was taken with the 6th overall pick by the Celtics in the 1978 NBA draft. He did not immediately sign with the team, as he played his final season in Indiana, but would sign for the 1979-80 season. Playing during the golden age of basketball, Bird broke the mold of a stereotypical basketball player. He had a mentality different of most. He desired the ball in the clutch. Bird is a top 5 shooter all time, and an elite defender, a great free throw shooter, and a competent presence on the court. A basketball legend and the embodiment of Celtics pride, Larry Bird revolutionized the game with his precise shooting, unparalleled basketball IQ, and tenacious competitive spirit. A fierce competitor on the court, Bird consistently displayed an uncanny ability to make his teammates better while taking on the game's best defenders. His indomitable will and unmatched clutch gene made him one of the most feared, and respected players in NBA history. Bird retired from the NBA in 1992 after a series of back injuries that affected his on-court play. His total years with the team is 13 seasons. Statistics-wise, he's 3rd all-time in franchise points with 21,791 points. He's 4th all-time in rebounds with 8,974, and he's 3rd all-time in assists with 5,695. Personal achievements-wise, he's a 2-time NBA Finals MVP, 3-time NBA MVP, 12-time NBA All-Star, 9-time All-NBA First Team, All-NBA, and he made the All-NBA Second Team in 1990, 3-time NBA All-Defensive Second Team, NBA Rookie of the Year, 3-time NBA Three-Point Contest champion, the AP Athlete of the Year in 1986, and his number 33 is retired by the Celtics, and he made the Hall of Fame in 1998. In championships, he's a 3-time NBA champion. X factor I have is his clutch play, trash talk, and his rivalry with Magic Johnson. Russell was taken with the 2nd overall pick in the 1956 NBA draft by the St. Louis Hawks, currently the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks drafted Bill, but were vying for Celtics center Ed Macauley, a 6-time NBA All-Star who had roots in St. Louis. Auerbach agreed to trade Macauley, who had previously asked to be traded to St. Louis to be with his sixth son, if the Hawks gave up Russell. The owner of the Hawks called Auerbach later and demanded more in the trade. In addition to Macauley, who was the Celtics' premier player at the time, he wanted Cliff Hagan, who had been serving in the military for 3 years and had not yet played for the Celtics. After much debate, Auerbach agreed to give up Hagan, and the Hawks made the trade. During that same draft, Boston also drafted guard Casey Jones, Russell's former USF teammate. In total, the team drafted 3 future Basketball Hall of Famers in 1956, Russell, Casey Jones, and Tommy Heinsohn. The Russell draft day trade was later called one of the most important trades in the history of North American sports. Bill Russell is one of the most iconic basketball players of all time. From his sheer dominance in the 50s and 60s to his stand for social issues, Bill has dominated both arenas with class and dignity. He was a force at the center position, destroying opponents that stood in his way. He has the most championships out of any player, 11, and most of these are directly due to his presence on the team. A defensive force and relentless winner, Bill Russell forever altered the trajectory of the Celtics franchise by anchoring their dynasty throughout the 1960s. With an unprecedented grasp of timing, positioning, and shot blocking, Russell altered countless games single-handedly and remains the gold standard for what a dominant defender should look like. His unwavering commitment to winning, leadership, and impact on the game remain unparalleled as he stands among the greatest to ever play the sport. So, his years with the Celtics. He had 13 seasons with the Boston Celtics. Statistics-wise, he's 8th all-time in franchise points with 14,522, 1st all-time in rebounds with 21,620, and he's 6th all-time in assists with 4,100. Personal achievements, he's a 5-time NBA MVP, 12-time NBA All-Star, 3-time All-NBA First-Teamer, 8-time All-NBA Second-Teamer, 4-time NBA Rebounding Champion, and his number 6 is retired by the Boston Celtics, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1975. Championships, he's an 11-time NBA champion, and his X factor I have is his civil rights activism and him being one of the greatest NBA players of all time. Wow, that was a lot of information, a lot of Celtics stuff. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. This, again, took me so long to do, probably about a week and a half. A lot of research. I had to physically break it up into different steps. This really was like a research project, so I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did and watched all the way to the end, I truly appreciate it so much. Please leave a like and comment down below who your favorite Celtic all time is, and without further ado, I'm just going to peace out here and say bye. See you later.